That's
I'm
your
good.
that's your cue. Go ahead.
Oh. Hello, everybody. What's going on? This is the Rico and Nico podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you watching us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am Nico, and this is my good friend Rico from I think about a whole bunch of years. Rico, how you doing today?
I'm good, bro. I was about to say, I was about to hold you to it, like, man, how long you done know me, bro? You don't know the exact years?
I was 18 and I'm about to be 25. So that's 7 years.
Man, you about to be 25? Man, I
Yeah,
forget how young you were, man. God
I'm
bless you.
about to turn 25. Yeah, that's true. When I met you, my driver's license was still vertical. All
Yeah,
right.
boy.
And back then, I remember I wasn't dating anyone, but a couple months later, I did start dating someone. And it was funny with her because you usually, what are you doing?
I just had to pick something up, man. Continue your story. Don't keep the viewers in suspense, man. Go ahead, continue.
So pretty much I have met this girl. I thought she was really pretty, and she was from my same city, and my hometown, Columbus. I was like, wow, this girl's really cool, and she's intelligent, and blah blah blah, whatever. And long story short, we dated a few months later, and it was crazy to me that she just wasn't jealous whatsoever. She was
Okay.
just mad cool about everything. I could text another girl, I could go out with just another girl, and she'd be okay with it.
Hmm.
And it's funny because this girl, her face was pretty, but she wasn't like wow, like I go out with this girl and everyone looks at her kind of thing. Does that make sense? She was
Okay.
like okay. And the thing about her was her personality. Her personality was great. She had a really pretty face, so she was attractive, very attractive. And she did have a lot of dudes on her and stuff. And we started dating. Wasn't jealous whatsoever. I had never experienced something like that before, even though I was very young. People I knew weren't really used to it either. So I thought that was very interesting. And then later, years later, I dated another girl, and this girl was just everyone said, "Oh, she looks like Angelina Jolie. She looks like Angelina Jolie." I said, "Okay, thank you. She's hot. I know it." Everywhere we went, dudes would just be all over this girl, even in front of me. They didn't care.
Mm.
This girl was smoking hot. However, the contrast is this was the most insecure, jealous girl ever. She thought every girl was after me, and she thought I was Brad Pitt. Oh, maybe he's talking to another girl, maybe he's bored of me. Just all those insecurities,
Hmm.
which at least she was honest in the beginning. So I think it's funny how someone who I don't want to say should be insecure, but you would expect to be more insecure than the girl who is so attractive. She
Hmm.
she can get whatever guy she wants and keep them.
Okay.
So it's crazy, jealousy. I know it comes from insecurity, but I think
Hmm.
it's taught into our society, and this is a great example. It has a lot to do, with who you are. I think I'm pretty jealous, to be quite honest. What do you think about that situation? Are you jealous usually? You're gonna say no, of course, because you're perfect, but that's fine. Go ahead.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So jealousy as a emotional construct. Jealousy that I understand, it sounds good in books. It sounds good in movies. It plays out in a way that it seems dramatic. In real life, jealousy is useless. It is a useless emotion. It is a useless endeavor. Jealousy is useless. Um, Envy can have a little bit of a use as far as motivating. For once you realize what it is, you acknowledge what it is, and you then you go into the positive aspect. But jealousy has no positive benefits. Um, I don't get jealous because I have an attachment issue. So I don't get easily attached to anyone. So I don't covet. I don't get really territorial, and I'm really self
I
aware.
know it. I know it.
I'm just self aware, bro. I would have better boundaries, but the thing about jealousy is that we don't own people. So yeah, jealousy does come from being insecure, and jealousy a lot of times comes from loss or being abandoned. And if you feel, especially or disrespect, people who have issues with loyalty, respect, or being disrespected, being abandoned, being embarrassed or being humiliated by someone else, they're quick to be jealous because they really are quick to want to have and possess usually something or someone. That's why you have friends out there who they get really possessive if you have other friends. Um, significant others who get really protective if you had male or female friends before them, and they see you as their property, their territory. I mean, it's like a dog protecting his dish, but that's not a healthy way to go about. And jealousy, like any type of emotional aspect or psychological aspect, it depends on the maturity of the individual. If a person acknowledges that they have issues with jealousy, they acknowledge and they're active in addressing them, understanding boundaries, understanding the ideas of other people have autonomy, then yeah, you can address it. And it's no different than being guided and understanding that people can and will do certain things. That's a reality. People can operate independently. People can hurt you. People can do things that will disappoint you. You just open yourself up to that when you engage other human beings, but you got to be realistic when it comes to being jealous over someone, trying to restrict them or try to keep them under wraps is not really going to help your relationship. Some people think jealousy is cute though. Because they think they use it as a validator. Oh, my boyfriend's jealous of my relationships with others.
Therefore, he cares about me.
Yeah, and that is an unhealthy association with jealousy into regards to uh, being cared for or having that relationship validation. But I mean, you don't come off to me as a jealous individual. Yeah, Nico,
Who,
you were,
me? As in
yeah,
me?
yeah. You
I've
don't.
improved a lot. I've improved a lot,
Wow,
but I was worse.
you were worse. Wow, because you don't own the people that you're with. You don't own. You're a contributor in your relationship. So you contribute to your friendship. You contribute to your relationship, but you don't own the other person's involvement. You don't own their connections with someone else. And especially, dealing with jealousy. If I've met anyone who has a jealous streak or they have a jealous individual in their life, my thing, and I take this personally for me, I like that I have the flexibility to acknowledge that issue with someone else or the person I'm with, and I meet it with being flexible, open, and not feeling awkward. Because, like I said, jealousy in the real world, real application, doesn't really have any real practical or positive use. Like I said, it's good in novels, it's good in books, it's good in romantic poems and movies. But as far as like real life application, jealousy,
Oh, it's harmful. It's harmful.
it's harmful. I get a little bit of protectiveness. I get a little bit of territorialism. I get that to a certain degree, but to take full on jealousy, like anything, full on envy, too much of anything is a bad thing. So,
That's true.
when it comes to like jealousy, like I said, I understand where it comes from. You always got to check a person's history about where it comes out and where like the jealous streak comes from. But I don't think I've never dated a jealous woman. I've been everybody has their own insecurities, but I've never been with someone who's jealous. I've had friends that have questioned me on other friendships or felt like I value other friendships more so than theirs. But those always will really ended up really being one-way friendships. Like those were people I had friendships with they didn't reciprocate my friendship. So they would question me, but wouldn't reciprocate. And those friendships are over now. But for the most part, like, I guess I don't naturally attract jealous people to me. Jealousy to me doesn't have any
Lucky you.
place. Yeah.
Lucky you.
And I'm unfortunate. I'm not like you. I don't have all these hot women around me who have these jealous streaks. So, hey, it is.
I
Hey,
wish I had one just woman in period around
hey,
me.
well, you got
Let
to get
alone
back
to
there. But
have
hey,
more than one hot woman.
but avoid the ones that are jealous, man. But like I said, man, ultimately, I said I don't have a lot of experience with jealousy because it's not an attribute that I gravitate towards or one that I would have around. I would entertain it being around me. So that's me.
Oh, jealousy is very dumb because, well, you reminded me that also jealousy is very um, besides insecurity, obviously, like we said already,
Mhm.
jealousy is related to power. Like I have the authority to tell you what to do or what not to do. I have the authority. Like I'm just saying subconsciously, that's how I think you think if you're jealous. I have the authority to ask you where you are. And I'm your significant other and you need to tell me.
Mhm.
And if I don't like something you're doing or it makes me feel insecure or sad, upset, you should stop it. So it's like when you're a supervisor and you can tell someone that they can't be late anymore. Or when
Okay.
you're a supervisor and you're telling someone, hey, you didn't do this right. It's
Okay.
kind of like that power play. That's
Mhm.
also something big with jealousy. And going back to the useless topic, hey, if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. No one can stop you. Absolutely no one can stop you. If the person you raise is gonna cheat, they're gonna stop you. No matter how toxic you get, no matter how on top of
Yeah.
them you get,
People gonna do what they
people
gonna
are
do,
gonna
man.
do it.
Yeah, people
You're
gonna
going
do what
you,
they gonna
you're
do.
gonna do your thing. It's just like when your mama or your daddy told you to not do something, you did it behind their backs.
Yeah. Or you were told to do something, you didn't do it. So the pendulum swings both ways in a lot of relationships. A lot of times it's not so people are fearful of the bad things people do. Getting embarrassed, being cheated on, being lied to, being physically, mentally, emotionally abused. Those are a lot of the prominent things, but there are a lot of things that are in the adverse negative side. So a lot of people have to deal with the fact that their partners aren't being honest with them about their own feelings, or you feel like you can't express yourself. So yeah, while your partner might be yelling at you, you might feel so uncomfortable that you might not be honest with them. You might not be supportive of that person. You might not be timely with that person, or you might not really be involved in engaging with that person. And what happens is when you don't do those things, people can get jealous. Why is you know what? I take maybe one instance. I did have a girlfriend, two instances where, I have a creative side too. So there was one instance, there was Christmas. I
You
was
have a
making
what?
a
Creative?
creative side. So there was one instance that I had a girlfriend, super creative too, artist, phenomenal. But it was a winter that we were making stuff for Christmas, and I made some stuff for people at work at my job at the time. And I don't like buying stuff; I like making stuff. So I made something, and I remember after everything was said and done, she asked me, she's like, "I wish you would make things for me like you make for other people." And I was kind of taken back by that because I had to point off all the things that I made for her and the things I was doing, and it just didn't resonate for her. It didn't matter what I did for her; it was what I did for other people. And I remember there's one other time that she was working. She was working that evening, and I went out to this event, got a glass. I still got the glass right now. And I came home, and she was just like, she's like, she was upset with me because I went to this event that she couldn't go to. And I was just like, but you were working. I don't see you. She's like, oh, I'm feeling this certain way, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, oh, you're jealous of my experience in these small instances. And maybe that might be the only situation I could think of where I encountered like actual identifiable jealousy. But those situations were so irrational to me that I just, I heard it, but I really didn't entertain it because, it's not for me to feed into. I'm a supportive person, boyfriend or whatever, but I'm not going to feed into those insecurities because you feel a certain way. And I can't change the timeline. I can't change the universe. You could have called off from work and came with me, but you got to make money. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's like people look for a reason to be upset about certain things. In that instance, it probably was what it was, but I didn't give it any of my energy because I don't give jealousy my energy. That's just
No,
me.
and you shouldn't, man. Jealousy is very toxic, and if you're very jealous from someone, you have to ask yourself why. Are you being too much? Do you feel like you're being given actual reasons to be jealous? If you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're not being crazy, you're not being toxic, you feel like you're being given reasons to be jealous, you
Yeah.
just shouldn't be in that relationship in the first place then.
Hey. That's what it should be, man.
That's what it
Yes,
should be.
that's
That's
what
what
it
it
should
should
be,
be.
man. Jealousy.
That's what it should be.
Now we didn't get caught up because we feeling neglected, and that's a big thing we should identify. If we find ourselves, and maybe I would say this, maybe if you said you're improved, sometimes we have to understand when we're being neglected. That's the other side of the pendulum. If you're seeing that your friendships are one-sided, your relationships are one-sided, and you feel you're being neglected, and but you see this person pouring all their energy into someone else or something else, then you could become jealous of that connection they have with someone else that really you should be having with that person as well, because there's something lacking. Now that's an identification of, yeah, you're becoming jealous because your relationship is lacking something. Like you said, you need to address that part of your relationship. So I think that's the only time that the precept of jealousy should come, and it should be an indicator of, okay, like you said, why do I feel this way? Then do a reevaluation or an audit of your relationship. And if you find, hey, my relationship honestly and genuinely is not providing me the things I need, and it's starting to culminate feelings of jealousy because I see that the person I'm with or the friendship I'm in is benefiting someone else, or that energy is going somewhere else and it's not coming to me, then yeah, you need to do something about that. And then you need to reevaluate the relationship, get out of it, like you say.
Exactly. It's just, it's jealousy is also. I feel like it's being taught though.
You think it's
Like
being
it's
taught?
okay. Like it's like it's okay. Like you should be jealous. Like, oh, she is doing this and that. You're not gonna say anything. Like you're gonna let them disrespect you like that. Or I feel like it's being taught not only generation to generation, but it's being taught at home. It's being taught in school by friends, by family, by everyone. And now it's normal, but it should be the other way around. You know.
You know what happens is we're teaching, well, I don't know teaching, but there's a condition factor that because it's through media that we're promoting bad behavior. Every time I see women talk about, I have a sarcastic nature, or I'm high on sarcasm, or sarcasm is my language. um not for the weak, or not for the sensitive. All I see a lot of people telling me is that they're problematic. They don't know how to articulate their thoughts in a calm manner. And people are divisive, or they're combative. That's all people tell me when they put that out there on Front Street, basically, is that they don't know how to communicate once their emotions get involved. And that's good to know, because that lets me know who to avoid. Yeah, like when women or even guys, like you see them. I see more women because that's who I deal with mostly. But it's like, oh, I'm bratty, I'm spoiled, I get jealous. There's a song. What's that song by one of them Jonas Brothers called "Jealous"? My child.
Oh yeah,
And
by
I'm,
Nick.
and I'm like, okay, it's being conditioned as an endearing quality. You want someone who's jealous over you because they
You
want to they
want
want
someone
to
who's jealous, exactly.
you want to covet
Like
their
if you
relate.
don't have someone who's not jealous, you either don't want them, or you feel
Yeah, they're
uncomfortable,
indifferent to
or
you.
you feel, hey, you're actually not even into me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's how I felt
exactly.
sometimes with the first girl I talked about. It I was like, wow, like she's not jealous. Like this girl, this doesn't mean anything to
Yeah,
her.
she's nonchalant and she feels like she's
She's
disconnected.
nonchalant. Yes.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, once you identify your boundaries in those relationships, there will be that distance, if that's the distance you guys set. Or you just have to do a reevaluation of your relationship and say, hey, I'm feeling like this. What's this going on? Yada yada yada. And it might be a communication thing, like, oh, we're not going to talk every day. We're not going to do this because courting is hot and fiery at first, then it mellows out and it plateaus. So it's all about being properly communicating, being properly connected, and just kind of having that idea, those feelers out of where you're at. But yeah, this whole idea of, like, if a person's not really jealous over your relationships, no, your relationships, they're supposed to be supportive. They're supposed to allow you to thrive. They're supposed to allow you to really diversify your relationships and connections. Cut off what isn't helpful and healthy, and reestablish or solidify what is healthy. And hopefully you're a part of that. But man, jealousy, like
The thing.
I'll say this: jealousy can be cute in tongue-in-cheek conversations. Oh, you went to the fair today, yada yada yada. Oh, I'm jealous of you. Oh, I wish I would have been there. Oh, I'm envious of you. But if it's anything more than playful, if it's not just tongue-in-cheek banter, if it's actually an emotion behind jealousy, then you need to reevaluate that relationship and where you're at in that relationship, flat out.
Absolutely. And the thing is, people don't see it as something negative. People see it as something just normal, not positive, not negative.
No, we
Just
know it's
normal,
we
just
know
like
it's
brushing your teeth.
no, we know it's negative, just like envy, greed. We know it's negative, but what we do is
Okay,
that
it's negative but acceptable.
what we do is we find
Respected.
we see it as infamous, and we're drawn to it because it's edgy and it's a challenge. It's challenging to us, and because we like people like to validate themselves through challenge. There's a lot of dudes that like. There's a lot of men and women that say I like the challenging person because I can tame them. Women that deal with bad boys, guys that deal with belligerent women, and they get that lovely that oh, he's the only one that can tame me. He's the only one that can calm me. People don't need to be handled. People shouldn't be handled. Guns get handled. Knives get handled. Dangerous materials get handled. Dogs and dangerous animals get handled. Human beings shouldn't have to be handled. That's the mental. But people feel validation, and I'm the only one that can get her to calm down. I'm the only one that can get him to calm down with those bad behaviors. No, he or she should be calming themselves down. He or she should be civilized. Jealousy,
Within,
envy,
from within.
whatever. They should be good. But hey, man, it's a human thing. But it's all about acknowledgement and being cognizant of yourself and wanting better for yourself. If you know you get jealous, if you know you get envious, if you know you have narcissistic tendencies, if you know you have these problems, and you should be addressing them to make you healthier for other relationships, and also have that insight to
Ain't
acknowledge that in
nobody
other
doing that.
people. So yeah, man.
Yeah. But ain't nobody doing that. What do you guys think? Leave us some comments. Are you jealous? Are you with someone jealous?
Mm.
Have you been surprised when someone isn't jealous? Have you had that experience? How did it feel? Do you think it was okay? Do you think you've been more jealous? Have you been hurt? Have you been cheated on? That's why you think you're jealous. Is jealousy okay? Is jealousy expected? Should you have it? Should it be accepted? Are you
or the
not
or the
jealous like
big or the
Mr.
big question is if you're feeling feelings of jealousy in your relationships, have you taken time to reevaluate your relationship with whomever?
And leave a separate comment saying whether you're perfect like Mr. Rico Angel over here who doesn't have any flaws.
Here we
Just
go.
let us know in the comments. Leave a like also while you're at it. Share this damn video with everybody. Tell all your friends to watch Rico and
You started
Nico.
that.
Yeah, I know. Tell your friends to watch Rico and Nico. Where else? They're missing out. And thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for this podcast, Rico.
All
Take
right,
it
all right,
easy.
all right, boss. Yeah, man.